starting. What's going on, guys? How's it going? I'm Koshade, and we're the Arcane Duels team. What up, Shark? How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
Good, good. Puddnhead, what's going on? And
Yo, yo, yo.
if we are lagging live, I apologize. I'm not exactly sure why. We've been streaming all day with a little game called Mage Quit, and it was been fine all day. But I don't know, peak hours, people using stuff Saturday. Anyway, we have a awesome summer project that we kind of want to just do a stream about, release some videos about, and it's going to be one of these things that if you guys love Mage Wars and want to help out, um, you can. So first
Officially,
off,
it's not just a
yeah,
thing we're doing on the side. It's an official thing.
it's an official thing. So basically, um, Arcane Wonders has asked us to run a community project to release the very last sets for Arcane, for the Mage Wars Arena. And basically, we are going to be doing two mages. We're going to be doing the Monk and the Elementalist. We're going to be releasing the errata cards for a bunch of cards that have been in the docket for Arcane Wonders, but they haven't been able to do yet, and but they haven't been able to release. And we're also going to be making a bunch of just promos that have never been released before available, so that you can just get them, as well as any sort of rules or clarifications that people have had over the years. We'll go over all these things in a second, but basically we're going to be doing just a massive tie-up to make sure that the whole game is just kind of like a very nice feel to say that's done. And the reason why Arcane Wonders asked us to do it is because they're looking to make it as involved with the community as possible. And it's kind of one of those things that, they're aware that they've had some communication issues in the past, and they're hoping that we're able to they're hoping that we're able to sort of make the communication a positive thing. And yeah, so I don't know. So that's essentially like the very first thing that we're going to talk
That is
about.
the
Is just
gist of it,
all
yeah.
that stuff, basically. In terms of like a 2.0, if you guys aren't aware, we had a survey earlier this year that Arcane Wonders asked me to help make. And basically, it's to gain some knowledge over what people are looking for if there was to be a new game released. And right now, there's no release date. It's probably going to be, 2021 the earliest. 2022 is more realistic. But all that feedback people gave us for those surveys is actually really useful for determining the direction for that sort of thing. And the idea of 2.0 again is going to be they want to basically streamline a lot of the rules, but also make it deep in a competitive sense. And kind of the big thing that I'm hoping is they avoid some of the things that Academy had that was problematic. And
Yeah.
I think those surveys kind of showed that basically Academy was a solid game to play if you wanted a quick game, but people really wanted Arena. So that's why we're kind of
And
focusing
so,
on Arena.
right.
You
That's why
know?
we're going to wrap up the first edition, learn what we can from it, tie it up nicely, and then the second edition discussion is still going on to the point that we don't even know the direction that everything's going with that. So
Yeah.
don't get too
Yeah.
far ahead of us. We're working on wrapping things up, and with that,
Exactly.
we can use some playtesting help with the cards that we have both created and adjusted. We're
Yeah.
going to give reasoning behind the adjustments to anything we've done. That'll come today. But the first thing we need to know is how to help. So,
Heck yeah.
most of this is going to be done through Octagon. Those who have logged on in the last 40 minutes notice that there's a new patch for 2.2, which contains all of the new stuff in the current playtesting form. To participate and help us with feedback, we'll go over some of the procedures later, but most of which can be played on Octagon. We're going to require some replays, and we'll go over how to send those to us so we can also see what you're seeing. The feedback form, I think actually you did some work on that, didn't you, Kosha? Do we have some of that to share right now?
Yeah, I do. We're gonna actually have a Dropbox so you can see all the new stuff here. But let me go ahead and pull that up.
There's a Dropbox for new stuff as well as the
It's not exactly
text over.
complete yet, but it's a very basic document. That's supposed to be basically hey, here's all the stuff. We're looking for feedback on terms of your games through Octagon. Also, if you don't have Octagon, that's totally fine. Like, obviously, I don't expect you to set up a camera to send us games. But like things like if you want to send us your books, your opinions on how certain cards are, and sort of like the general plays that happen, such as
We
like,
need to know the as
yeah,
much experience as you can give us, so we can have the context for what things are being said.
Right.
exactly,
So if you're playing offline, right, you can't record it, like we said. We do want game data, though.
yeah.
That's kind of the big thing. We want to know, how did it play out in game? What did it feel like in the game?
Yeah.
And if you could get two people's opinions, the opponent and the player of that card combination, that would be really helpful. We're going to prioritize data that we can actually observe
And
ourselves
there will
and
be
is
further
well
feedback on how to give
constructed. Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah, and so basically what we're going to do is Octagon is of course the best method because you can literally send us the game. So it's like there's no interpretation. It's just this is literally what happened. But basically we're going to be doing probably weekly or bi-weekly streams, something like that. And we're basically going to be talking about the game data that we received, analyzing it, and we're hoping to basically use that data to talk with you guys about it so that we can make some decisions based on that. And
Note real quick, it looks like the picture of our Discord on the Twitch has frozen. So we all look like we're like freezing in
oh
place.
no,
So I
we're
don't know if you're
frozen.
watching the Twitch, but
Uh,
we do look kind of funny.
I'm
There we go.
not. I'm
It's frozen.
sorry. I'm sorry if the Twitch is like really messing up.
I think if you click off of it, it wasn't real happy about it, but we fixed it.
It's like what the
Nice.
heck.
Anyway, yeah. So what do we have next? Do we want to go over the uh changes, or do we want to
Yeah, sure.
do the new
So
stuff?
So I guess so in terms of video submission, that's basically what we're looking for. Just a lot of info. In terms of the past and how we've had playtesting, a lot of people have just given their opinion. And a lot of those times it was very clear that there wasn't actually any games played with it. Because their opinion would often conflict with actually how the rules are written, or it would just be like something where it's like if you just do this 6 times, you always win, and then we test it out, and it just doesn't happen that way. So um, I'm really looking forward to the feedback, but yeah, we're sort of making it open in that sort of sense. So I guess let's get to cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also want to say that part of the patch for Octagon is a new game mode
Oh,
that
thank
will
you.
allow for all of the playtest rules changes to function. And Shark, do you want to do some overview of the changes that we're testing out? Just before we start, none of this stuff
You're very
is
robotic. I'm sorry. I
set.
wouldn't.
Okay. None of this stuff
You're
is
good.
set in stone. It's all going to be, jiggered with.
Yeah,
It's
nothing is
not
final.
Yeah. So
Yeah, nothing is final at all.
I know things might be a little unclear because of Puddin. So basically, any of these rule changes that we have, these have been from seeing tournament results, other people giving this input. Not a lot of this stuff is things that we've actually put forward ourselves, just ourselves
Some
especially.
of it is.
And a lot of this stuff is things that we've had actually in tournaments for a long time. Yes, I have a Protoss background, and Puddin sounds like Protoss. I get it.
Purely intentional.
Protoss all the way, just saying. But yeah, so like, if we don't agree with some of these changes, I really have no problem with saying, oh wow, we all say that we don't want to make an incorporeal and ethereal change at all, so we just won't.
This is
That's
just
totally
the
fine.
first round of playtesting. We'd like feedback on certain. That's what we're targeting.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
with that, to play on Octagon, it should be relatively easy because on the pop-up window where it says you pick Mage Wars Arena, you pick Mage Wars Domination, and right below that will say Mage Wars Arena Playtest Project. That is the one with where the errata changes will be put, and most of, like, I'd say 99% of the code is swappable between Arena. So if you choose Arena on accident, it's fine. But the mechanical automation has gone into at least some of the mechanical automation, like Ethereal, I know is updated because to do our Ethereal change and a few other things. So just click that game mode and it should automate. And if it doesn't, just do it manually. But be aware of the changes. That's all. All the card art should have adjusted card art to reflect the changes we made. We will be posting at some point a change list, so you would be browsing through and can look at each one of them, because some of them are actually very small changes and are hard to find, as we found out when trying to post this to the card art. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of redoing that, but
I mean, when it comes to card art right now, especially, none of the pictures are really going to be finalized art, so they're all going to have like playtesting art or like
Yeah.
placeholder art. Like, there's going to be grammar mistakes. You know, it's going to maybe have like different font, just because
enchantment
they're.
trees, dig in, don't mind that.
Yeah, yeah, like Harmonize, I think, has the wrong title
Go get
name.
fixed, don't worry.
That was totally my bad. But really, like, the art itself should be, or like the card itself, look at it as how it needs to be played in terms of like making it crisp and how it should look. That's going to happen later on in this playtesting phase.
Yeah. We'll be pushing periodic patches. This one, there
Yeah.
will be ones to fix the stuff here, but
By the way, good to
we
see you,
wanted to get
Keijin.
people. We wanted to get people playtesting, so
Farkas, good
we
to
had
see you.
kick it
Jason,
out
good to
now.
see you as well.
Do we want to go through each change and explain what we were thinking behind them, or is that saved for later?
Well, I was thinking
Sure.
that we just.
I don't mind.
I mean, do we want to start with cards first, or do we want to start with like errata, or what?
All of those are the same. Just start at the top of the
Yeah,
document.
yeah, man.
Work your way
Yeah,
down.
Okay,
let's do errata first. The errata that
you want to do
we're
errata
changing,
first?
Okay. we can
and
go
then
do
with
the
that.
elementals
promos that have been
later.
changed.
So, yep. To find
Clarifications.
some of the new errata cards, I only added a new set if the card got changed or didn't exist before. So if you go to Octagon, look at playtest promo errata or playtest errata. Those are the two ones that have cards that changed.
Okay, can you guys see this? Yeah, you can. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So again, I wanna reiterate that these cards are all in the playtesting phase. Anything that
Yes.
you think might be overpowered or underpowered, this is the time to test them out. Again, send us those games as replays, showing if you think that they're one way or the other.
Yeah, we
And
need actual data.
exactly, and
So,
we can change it based on that.
also of note, design philosophy thing here. In terms of creating the new cards, the power level is intended to be skewed on the slightly more powerful side to be dialed back instead of going the other
Yeah,
direction.
yeah. So the
If
philosophy is make a card slightly too strong,
we want to know how
using a
much is
math basis,
how
and
strong is it,
yeah.
and is it too strong, or how much do we need to adjust? But we know we're likely going to dial up a lot of the new cards' power levels.
Yes, especially
Just thought I'd throw
especially
the
when we get to
philosophy out
Monk and
there ahead of
stuff like
time.
that. Monk's going to be a really experimental kind of new idea, so that's probably going to need the most testing out of any of this. So I guess let's start with the Alluring Orchid. A lot of the Druid cards that got released became really problematic, and they were almost automatic
Oh,
shoo-ins.
Justin,
Yes.
everything just stopped.
Oh no. Oh no.
So streams may be coming back in a second, but now that you're back, but everything paused and the stream went down real quick.
Oh god. I'm sorry, everyone.
Wow.
What a mess.
Hmm.
It's been kind of weird because I've literally been streaming just fine,
know,
and
all day.
I think it might be Discord.
Discord being a pain in the ass on the or a resource
Discord
hog?
being a bandwidth hog because of our video.
Yeah, right.
Could be actually.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
we could get the video off if you want.